right, guys, what's going on? Chris Albert here with the Warrior Soul Podcast, and today I'm going to answer a question that I got over the weekend. It's from a gentleman who has a really hard physical labor job, and he asked me if he should still train despite the fact that he's working this intense physical labor job. I'm going to get into that in a second, but first let me say this. If you're not listening to the Warrior Soul Podcast, you should be. What we do on the podcast is we empower U.S. military veterans and anybody else willing to listen to live their best lives. And to do so, we deliver tools, tactics, strategies, and ideas to help you to become smarter, stronger, more resilient, and a more capable human being. The show it is specifically for veterans, but if you're not a veteran, you can still listen to it. And whatever we talk about, you're going to get something out of it. And a lot of times I'm talking to somebody who's a lot smarter and a lot more accomplished than I am. So I recently had Nick Kumalatsos on the show. And during that episode, we talked about his time as a Marine Raider. We talked about the fact that he owns 7 businesses. He is a serial entrepreneur. And I know that there's a whole lot of you out there who also want to be serial entrepreneurs or who want to just start one successful business. So we talked a lot about that, and he's a great guy. We had an amazing conversation. He's also got a really awesome platform here on YouTube, lots and lots of subscribers. So you definitely want to check that episode out. We've also done episodes with Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power. I've had on so many amazing guests. So check the podcast out. Find us on iTunes or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Now, back to the question at hand. Should you still train if you have an intense physical labor job? And my answer is going to be yes. Yes, you should train, but not how you think you should train. Well, let me get into it. Now, number one, I know what it feels like to have one of those jobs. I've been a landscaper. I've been a laborer on a construction team. I was in the infantry in the Marine Corps. I was a plumber's apprentice for a little bit, and not like just hanging out underneath a sink or anything like that, like actually going out, digging holes, laying pipe, doing all kinds of crazy things, right? And I know what it feels like to come home at the end of a long day and be smelling to high heaven and to just want to crash on the couch and watch TV and drink a beer. At the same time, here's the deal, and this is why you should train. The point of training is not just to go into the gym and haze ourselves and to push the envelope all the time. That's not the point of training at all. The point of training is to make us better at everything we do and to reduce the potential for injury, right? That is the purpose of training. And that's why athletes, even though that they're hitting practice hard and they're out there on the field and they're taking a lot of punishment, that's why athletes still go to the gym and they cross train, right? The purpose of their training is to make their bodies more capable of enduring the severe beatings that they take all the time, right? And as somebody who has an intense physical labor job, that should be the point of your training, okay? So while I can't get into specifics on a program here on YouTube because I'm speaking to a lot of people and I'm not quite sure about what each of your situations would be, what I suggest is that you follow a simple training program that's centered on what's going to allow your body to become more capable of enduring the beatings that it's taking, okay? So what are some things that you should incorporate? So number one, there should be a resistance training program here, but it should center around the big lifts, right? So deadlift, the squat, the overhead press, the bench press, right? I would also suggest, if you've got a physical labor job, you're picking things up, you're probably holding them like this, you're probably front loading a lot. So variations on those lifts, like the front squat or like the front loaded reverse lunge or the overhead squat, those will be great exercises to incorporate to make your body more capable of dealing with what's happening. Now, here's the big thing you need to understand though. You shouldn't be trying to train like a bodybuilder or like somebody who is just trying to push the envelope all the time, right? You're not going to need a whole lot of volume, right? Unless your goal is to be a bodybuilder, in which case I'd have to probably adapt this a little bit. But at base, your training should consist of, trying to work for strength and trying to hit those main lifts. So I would come in and I'd probably do a 5x5 or a 5x3 or something like that, and not going too crazy heavy. I really wouldn't try to hit anything above a 65% 1RM or anything like that. That's just me in my mind, right? You should also be trying to add in some accessory lifts that are going to help you to prevent injury, right? So a lot of guys, because they're working up front, like you're constantly working from the front, a lot of guys, they get overactive front deltoids, and that can lead to shoulder impingement syndrome over the years. So a lot of you might want to be doing a lot of pulling, right? Incorporating pull-ups, right? Incorporating rear deltoid flies, things like that, right? To just build up those the muscles that are probably becoming imbalanced, right? You should also be working on mobility. That means, number one, hammering out any of that tissue that's getting knotted up, working on yourself a little lacrosse ball, going over to a mobility WOD and watching some of the things that Kelly Starrett is saying, checking out his book, Becoming the Supple Leopard. There's a whole host of different exercises in there that you can incorporate to make yourself more mobile and to make yourself more able to deal with all the stresses that your body's being put under, right? And a lot of people associate mobility just with flexibility, but mobility is actually more about strength. It's about manipulating your joints through their entire range of motion, which actually takes strength, right? Now, training frequency. That's probably going to be the key thing here, and it's going to take a lot of discipline on your part. What I would say is that you shouldn't be training all the time, right? You shouldn't be training all the time. I think once or twice a week, if you've got a physical labor job, should be plenty sufficient. And when it comes to conditioning, a lot of people say, okay, we're gonna try and work some cardio, and a lot of guys will just come in and they'll try to work the treadmill. I would go with Zatsiorsky on this. He's kind of like the father of modern strength training for athletics. And what he said is that athletes should seek strength first, right? And then get the conditioning from their sport that they practice, right? So what you should be more focused on in the gym is the strength part, because that's what's going to reduce your injury. That's what's going to allow your body to be able to take those beatings a little bit more. And then, as far as your conditioning goes, that's going to come from the physical labor that you're doing every single day. Beyond that, of course, you're going to want to make sure that you're getting good nutrition in. You want to make sure that you're getting a good amount of anti-inflammatories in your diet, right? Making sure you're loading up on those omega-3s, making sure that you are getting consistent micronutrition as far as your vitamins go. Vitamin C, great for recovery. Vitamin D, of course, very anti-inflammatory. Magnesium to help ensure that you get restful nights. And again, everybody's different, so I'm just going through all the big ones in my mind that would be important for a situation like this. And beyond that, don't wear yourself down. Don't feel the constant pressure that I guess is really being put on you to say, oh, I want to go CrossFit like crazy, or oh, I want to go do this, or I want to go do that. Train for you, train for your life, and if you do that, you'll be able to get through doing your job without major injuries that are going to really limit you later on in life. So that's my take, guys. I hope this was helpful. And if you like the video, please like it below and hit that subscribe button and that little bell. I'll be back at you later this week with some more awesome content.